Hi guys and ladies. I got a letter this morning from this guy, and he's basically he's asking me if I think that the alcohol in that is their way of, they keep it legal because it's their way of dumbing down the world or whatever. To tell you the honest truth, I think it's just absolute hypocrisy, the difference between grass and alcohol. And I've said this many times, they have cigarettes on the market and known to cause cancer. Everybody knows how bad cigarettes are for you, and yet they still sell them over the counter to whoever wants them. You can go to the doctor anytime you want and get a prescription for anything you like, and they'll just hand it over to you. You go home, you take these pills, you can kill yourself. You can buy alcohol freely, and yet they won't let you grow grass. It's just, and we all know, is the revenue they're bringing in from alcohol and cigarettes, not to mention how much money they would make from all the operations and everything they're doing from these two cancer causing things. Almost not so much alcohol. Alcohol will just destroy your liver and kill you if you go out driving. So they make so much money out of that. And not only that, you look at all these doctors and lawyers, how many of them sitting back with their nice bottle of scotch, do you think they would ever allow that to be banned? And yet they're going no, no, no to the grass, and I guarantee you that all their kids are out smoking grass. And not only that, you look on the internet, there's a wealth of information of the benefits of grass, and you go out in America, you can buy grass with a medical certificate. You can buy marijuana over there with a medical certificate. You can't do it here. And then they turn around and say the hypocrisy of it, to say that grass is an illegal substance, blah, blah, blah. Oh, let's try not swear in this one, eh? For God's sakes, It's just the ultimate in hypocrisy. And the whole world is everything they do is just hypocrisy. Like, for instance, I was reading on the in the news yesterday, some cardinal said that gays will never go to heaven. They will never be allowed through the gates of heaven. The cardinal, this is coming from an institution where they make it an institution to diddle little boys. Hypocrisy. Anything I see on TV, anything I see in the news, immediately I will look at all the other angles to it. I never ever take anything for granted anymore. Now, I want somebody to explain to me exactly why we're in Afghanistan, because my son asked me this yesterday, and I said, well, the pretend reason we're there is because a couple of guys with box cutters apparently scared America so badly and took down two of their buildings. That's the pretend reason we're over there. Actually, I got to ask this, does anybody actually believe that guys with box cutters actually did that? Because the people I've spoken to, no, but everybody goes, oh yeah, we all know that's an inside job. And I was wondering, do people actually believe that still happened by a handful of guys with box cutters? Here's one of the most powerful countries in the world, and with all sorts of nuclear weapons and jets and God knows soldiers and whatever, and they're trying to tell us a handful of guys with box cutters brought it to its knees. If that were true, everybody on this planet would be going, oh, well, America, look at them, anybody can do it, and start bombing them. But of course they're not going to, because they know it's a lie. Where was I going with this anyway? Oh yeah, the hypocrisy of everything you see around you, it's just absolute hypocrisy. Who can be bribed? Here I go, playing with this again and broke it. Who can be bribed? Who's in Parliament that can be bribed? Now, I don't know a politician that isn't crooked. They're all crooked. And, I seen Rudd on TV the other day, and he was with Obama, and he come out of this meeting, and actually the look on Rudd's face was, normally they come out and they're all smiles and shaking hands and everything. Well, there was none of that going on. Rudd looked kind of sick, actually. Like I said before, I think he would like an election so he can get out and let the other guy take the fall. Just one second. So I would, if somebody out there could explain to me the real reason we're in Afghanistan, is it the oil? Is it the drugs? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, and I can't really find anything on here. I tried looking it up yesterday, and I'm just looking in here now at the news that they've got on here. There was something on here I wanted to talk about. Oh, they've taken it off. They've got Tiger Woods' mistress has cancelled a press conference. I wonder how much she got paid to shut up. There was something I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember. But anyway, what I was saying about that is, there is one thing I did want to bring up. Now, does anybody out there know what chlamydia is? It's a sexually transmitted disease, right? Now, there's 15 years ago, I don't know about now. I honestly don't know what it's like now, but I know chlamydia was running rife amongst the Aboriginal communities up in the Northern Territories 15 years ago. Absolutely running rife. Now, the two things about chlamydia that you need to know is that 60% to 70% of women don't even know they've got it. And the second thing is, it makes you sterile. Now, where did this disease come from? Because I know back in the 60s it was never talked about. The 70s it was never talked about. So where did chlamydia come from? And don't you find that a little bit suspect? And yes, I do. I question everything. I find it very interesting that this disease is going around and that it's hard to detect. I love this part he put on the end here. He says, this is an old joke apparently, he said, maybe it is true, just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean they aren't watching me. I love that. It made me laugh. That's typically me, yeah. Okay. I might be paranoid, doesn't mean they aren't watching me. I don't know if it's paranoid. I just question everything. I've always been a rebel. When I was 16, I jumped on a plane and came over here from New Zealand. I've always thought outside the box. I don't ever take anything for granted. I always think everything through, think everything out. And if I see something, I ask why. I don't just sit there and go, oh yeah, she'll be right. I always ask the question why. And that's why it irritates me so much to see what I see going on, because everything is so blatantly obvious to me, and yet other people just sit there on their hands and go, oh, she'll be right. And that's a typical Australian attitude, actually. She'll be right. Don't worry about it. Somebody will fix it up. Well, apparently, and this must be the attitude of the world, really. Just let it go, and that's why we're in the shit we're in. But I do see it unraveling now, especially with this Climategate. And for you Australians that don't know, emails were uncovered and they've found the whole thing to be a fraud. This whole climate change is a fraud. Even in New Zealand, they cooked the books, and if you think we didn't do it here, you're absolutely wrong. They changed all the figures around in the graphs to say that the earth was getting warmer. It's not. The whole thing was a fraud to get more money out of you. Well, I'll let this one go now. It's 8 minutes. I hope I covered everything. I'll get back on here and make another one. If I didn't, you smile and have a nice day, guys.